Hello everyone, this is Crystal Potthoff, and I am going to do a series of designs in 4 weeks, 4 different weeks, and this is going to be the first week. And I'm going to take this division. This is the 48 triangle division. This was it was the second division I ever learned. And so while it looks complicated, it really isn't. And there's a couple different ways you can draw it. Each week I'm going to show you a slightly different way that can be drawn. And then we're going to explore how we fill in all these different triangles and make beautiful designs. So we're going to start with something very simple, very basic, and then each week we'll get a little more challenging with our designs. And you can pick different color combinations. You can do so much with this division. I hope you're really going to enjoy it. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started. Here is my chicken egg. It's blown out and I do have the hole plugged. I use a piece of newsprint to mark the top of the egg now, and so I just kind of do that. It does not show up well here because I have a lot of padding under here. So let me show you. Oops. Sorry for shaking everything. There's a little dot there. Anyway, so I marked the top of my egg. Now I'm going to use my template, and at everywhere it says 90 or 90-60, I am going to make a little mark. Just like that. Oh, you know what? I'm using my blue pen. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to draw these lines very darkly so you can see them. And then I have another egg off to the side that I've already drawn the lines on very lightly that I will use for the waxing. This one, because the lines are dark, I will dye it in a dark color and then wax those lines. So I have these 4 little lines. Now I'm going to draw 2 lines that go around the egg like this. And now this is one way to draw out this pattern. There's another way I'll do in a different video, but this was the way I learned from my original teacher, Shelley Janikowski. So we have one line going all the way around the egg like that, and now we're going to have another one going all the way around like this. And some people use lace, some people use quilling tape, however you want to divide your egg. It doesn't have to be exact, but for this pattern, you do want it to be fairly close. If you're good at eyeballing it, then do that. Okay, I have my new little tape measure, which is a bunny rabbit. It's kind of cute. I had a green one for years, and I don't know what I did with it. I can't find it. So now I'm going to mark an equator, and in the U.S., large chicken eggs are about 8 centimeters from top to bottom. So I'm just going to make a little line at the 4. And I'll go all the way around the egg and do that. Again, you could be using a lathe. The bunny tail is cute, but it's kind of in the way. All right. Okay. So now I have the equator marked, and I am going to draw a line all the way around that. And that was not the straightest of lines, so it will be okay. All right, now this part, you can measure it or not. It's entirely up to you. I usually measure mine. So I measure from here, this line to this line, and it's like 3.5. So I'm going to go with right about there. So that would be 17.5. I'm going to make a little mark. what's halfway. You can measure it, you can eyeball it. It is entirely up to you. I'm going to measure mine. And I'm just trying to be kind of accurate. Oh wow, I did that one. Those were all pretty much the same. Because this is where you find out if you're close or not. Okay, so now I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to, so if this was 3.5, I'm going to mark 3.5 this way, using that as my point. So, and you know what I'm going to do? There's 3.5. Oh, look. Okay. So on the inch side, it's 1.5 inches. Okay, I'm going to use that side because that'll be easier for me to measure. So I'm going to go to the 3/4 mark, and I'm just going to make a little dot up here, a little dot down here. And I'm going to do that on all 4 of them. And I'm just doing little dots. We'll line it up when we draw the rest of the lines. These are just kind of some directional points here. So the 48 triangle one does take a little bit of measuring up front. Once you get the hang of it, though, I think it's a pretty easy one to draw. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to draw 4 diamond shapes in here, or around the equator. So I'm using my points that I drew, that one, and then this one should probably be over right there. Okay, and I'm going to draw a big diamond in the middle. And now we'll do that over here. Okay, that one's a little off. Okay, I'm going to fix this one because my line should have been like right there. All right. Yeah, I used the little spit test to move. Okay, there. All right, that's better. I only did that on this egg because I am going to be dyeing it black. Okay. Or some dark color. Okay, so we have 4, I said triangles, 4 diamonds. 4 diamonds going all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now the next thing that I do is I draw a line from the bottom all the way up to the top of each one of these. And I start here, and I draw up to that point. And then I want the line going through here to be really straight. And this one also should have been more like right there. Okay, that looks better. I probably should have eyeballed it. That would have been better. Okay, so now I'm going to draw straight through there and then up to the top. And now I'm going to do the same thing over here. And here. Not the world's straightest line, but not bad. I'll make it straight when I do the wax, right? That's what I always tell myself. Okay, so now we have 8 lines going 4 lines going all the way around the egg. Some of them going through the diamonds and some of them not. Now the last thing that I do, so if you look at this, you have this diamond that's divided into 4. All these diamonds are divided into 4. That you have diamonds at the top and the bottom, but they're only divided in half. So now we want to divide those diamonds also into 4s. And so I go from this point to this point and draw a line. Now I do draw it slightly curved because of the egg. So I'm going to draw it like that. So there'll be 4 of these. And then there'll be 4 of these. There. And now we have an egg with 48 triangles on it. And you can count them if you want. But if you look at the top, there's 8, and the bottom will have 8. And then that is 8, and there are 4 of those around the egg. So now we have the basic division drawn, and now we're going to start putting wax on it. If you want to draw other elements on it now, you can. For this pattern, sometimes it's easier to put the wax on it and then draw the other elements because we're starting out with a fairly easy one. I'm not going to draw any other elements on it now. I'm just going to start putting wax on it, and I will start doing that on my other one here that I've drawn with the very light colored lines. Okay, so we're ready to start putting wax on our egg. In this case, this pattern in particular, I tend to put the wax on in the same order I drew the lines, but you can do it however you want, but I'm going to do it the way that makes me most comfortable. So I'm going to start here at the bottom. A little bit of drippy wax on that. Okay, I'm going to start here on the bottom. And I was looking to see if you could see the wax on the camera. And I went off my line a little bit. I am using my blue wax from Ukrainian Accessories. And this is the ASMR portion of the video where you're watching me just put some wax on these eggs. I do like this pattern. In fact, I recently realized how much I like this pattern because I was sorting through my inventory of eggs to decide what I was going to take to a couple of sales, and I realized I had a whole bunch of 48 triangle eggs. Now, they didn't all look like 48 triangle eggs, but I mean, I knew what they were, and they certainly didn't all look the same because I obviously did different patterns in them. But I apparently like to do this pattern because I did it a lot. Now, when we get to the elements inside, you can see how versatile it is. Okay, that didn't line up quite like I wanted, but that's okay. All right, now I'm going to draw the diamonds. So one of my goals this year in doing videos is to keep my head out of the camera. I have a few videos where I leaned in to see what I was doing and didn't realize that the top of my head was on the camera. So we'll see. We'll see how well that goes this year. Two of them done. And this is really, for me, one of the most meditative parts of it is putting the wax on these lines. I'm kind of counting, but a lot of times I'm really just listening. Listening to whatever the spirit puts in my heart and mind. And one more. I forgot to mention too that I am using my Lubas Electric with the medium tip. Okay, let's put a little more wax in this. It does come in a sheet, so I want to make sure that I always wipe it off because it has gotten on the outside. Right. Now, so we have the two lines that went around the egg like that, the equator, the diamonds, and now we're going to draw these lines that go through the diamonds that we just drew. When my egg is plugged, I try to not touch that wax there where it's sealed much. And if I remember before I put it in the first dye, I try to go around it just one more time, just to make sure I didn't break the seal as I was applying the wax very near the bottom. All right, so we have those lines. And now we just need to do our lines that connect from the point of the diamond to the next point. Oh, I missed that one a little. Oh, well. It will be fine in the end. Okay. And now we'll do the same thing on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there we have it. We have waxed the 48 triangle design onto a chicken egg. And now we have 48 triangles that we get to fill with fun stuff. Okay, that's what we'll do next. All right, we're back, and I have dyed my egg in yellow. And what I'm going to show you is the very first 48 triangle that I ever did. This is the pattern we're doing. And I don't know if I'll wax this whole part on camera. We'll see how fast it goes. So what I'm going to do is in one of these triangles, it's going to alternate. So in this triangle, I'm going to put some dots. And in this one, I'm going to put lines. The lines are going to be a different color. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And then I'll repeat it here and then on the top and the bottom as well. So it doesn't matter where you start, as long as you do it consistently on all of them. And if you don't, then you just don't. It's an egg And the point is to have fun while you're doing it. So I'm going to start here. So there's my 8. So I'm going to start right here and put a dot. And I'm putting on some pretty sizable dots. When you do these dots, you don't want to just like do that. You want your dot to show up. So you want to give it some wax there. Don't be afraid to give it some good wax. Okay. Now I'm going to skip this one and I'm going to do some more over here. And dots have different meanings. They can represent the tears of Mary at the cross. Okay, so I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to do this one. They can also represent your seeds of faith that we hope will grow and help us in our journey. And then this one. Okay, so there we have dots in 4 of them. I'm going to put a little more wax in here. If it helps you, you can take your pencil and you can say, okay, if I'm looking at this and thinking of it as a clock, this is kind of at the 11 o'clock mark. So if I want, I can put like a little dot there. And I can do it. I could put a little dot in all of them that I want the dots in. You could have done that. You don't have to. But we'll just say we're going to want it there. Skipping that one. We're going to want it there. Skip here. Skip and here. Okay, so let's do that one. I didn't put wax where I drew that dot, but my final color will be black. So I don't think you'll see that little pencil line. And I am not counting the dots to make sure there are the same number in each one, because each one of these little triangles is a little differently shaped. It's really odd looking dots. By the time you finish this egg, you'll be very good at doing dots. Okay, so now we have 2 of them done, and if you can see, it's like here's one, and then here's the other one, and where they meet up, they're also opposite. So let's do these other ones, and then I'll come back and we'll show what we do at the top and the bottom. So I have all the dots and these, what we'll call the center ones. So there's you know, and you can see how they all alternate. So we want to make sure that at the top and the bottom, we also alternate. So how I do that is I'm looking at the bottom and I can see there's dots here and dots here. So I want to put the dots here so that they're opposite. All right, like that. And once you get one of them done, the other ones are fairly easy to see. So I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to put them here. And one more. My dots are becoming less dot-like. So there's the bottom. And now I'm turn around. I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So dots here, no dots here. So I'm going to do these dots here. Okay, we are, oh, I got one more. I thought I was on the last one. One of the things you always want to do is look over your whole egg, make sure you didn't miss anything. Get excited that you're almost done and then you forget something. I need some more wax, but let's see if we can finish this. Nope, we're going to have to add more wax. Okay, where was I? Right there. Okay. All right. So here we have our 48 triangle, and 24 of them now have dots in them. So the next thing I'm going to do is dye it in red, and I forgot to mention this is the Ukrainian Gift Shop yellow. I'm going to now dye it in Ukrainian Gift Shop red, and come back, and we're going to put in the next element. So now I put it in the Ukrainian Gift Shop red, and now we're ready for our next element, which we will be putting in the ones where we don't have anything. And this one is going to be a set of lines. So very easy again, very easy to do these. The trick with the lines is that you want to make sure that they all go in the same direction. And if they don't, they don't. And I'll show you what I mean by that. And what I do for the lines is, if I look at this and I see where there's the 8, I'm going to refer to this as starting on the outside and working in. So I'm going to start my line here. I hope you can see this. Yeah, okay, it shows up. So I'm going to start a line here. and just go down the triangle. Now the lines are going to get smaller. I try to keep them about the same width, but sometimes it doesn't work. Now I'm going to turn the egg, and this is the outside, so I'm going to go here. So another way of thinking about it is I'm always working toward the center, or toward the smaller end. Well, I guess all the triangles have smaller ends, but I'm always working toward the center. Okay. Kiska does not seem to be writing as well. I have these little dental picks that I kind of go in, and sometimes they grab. Oh, look at that. Oops, you can't see it. That was in there. Yuck. Dust. Okay. All right. Let's see. No, that's better. I'm still using the blue wax, so it's on the white egg it shows up very well. Sometimes on the other colors it doesn't show up quite as well on the camera, but I can see it. As long as you can see your wax, it doesn't matter. Okay, so there we have the dots and the lines. Now I'm just going to repeat that on all of these other ones, and because you have skipped them, you already know where they go. So just do some more here, just like that. And again, I go from the outside in. You don't. This is how I tend to do it. It doesn't really matter as long as you do them all the same. And if you forget and do one different, it's okay. Because some people like to do them going like in this direction, and that's okay too. As long as you're, again, as long as you're doing them all the same, it kind of gives a better, in my opinion, it gives a better balance to your design. And I have, for this one here, I have used the Luba's electric with the medium tip for the whole design. And I have used the Ukrainian Accessories blue wax. But you use what you have and what works best for you. And okay, so let's the top and the bottom would be like that. So this would be your outside line, or what I would call the outside of it. Then I'm going to draw the lines going like that. I almost forgot. Okay, I am going to use my super fine for just a second because I want to put my initials on it. Okay. You don't have to do that. And you don't have to do it with the super fine. I just did. It still doesn't want to. Okay. Okay, and there is the bottom all done. I'm going to do the same thing on the top and on the other two areas. Keep waxing those. Then I'm going to dye my egg in the Ukrainian gift shop black. But before I do that, I am actually going to rinse this egg off. It's plugged, so I'll just run it under some water. I'm not going to use any soap or anything. I just want to take off some of the red because what I have found, not always, but sometimes, the red, because of the chemical compositions of the red and the black, sometimes the black has a hard time covering the red. So I'm just going to rinse it off, and then I'll get a deeper black color, which is what I want. So I'm going to do that, come back and show you the egg dyed black, and then we'll take the wax off. So here's the egg rinsed off. I thought maybe you'd want to see what it looks like. So it's still got a pinkish tone to it, a little reddish tone, and sometimes you do that and it's like, hey, that's kind of a cool color. Maybe I'll incorporate that on the egg, which I could do, but I'm not. In this case, I'm going to now dye it in the black. And I forgot to mention, the lines can also, they have several different meanings. They can represent the wounds, the stripes that Christ bore for our sins, or they can also represent a ladder of your prayers going up to heaven. So that's some of that symbolism. All right, we're going to dye it black, come back, and take the wax off. And here is our Pysanky now. It has been dyed in the black. I am going to let it sit for a few minutes, just so that it's completely dry, and then I will take the wax off. It's already looking pretty cool, I think. I am going to take the plug off. Oh, here, we'll just do that right now, so I don't forget. There we go. Okay. All right. Let it dry, and then we'll take the wax off and be back. And here is our completed Pysanky. Very traditional type of 48 triangle pattern. Okay, so next week I'm going to show another way to draw this pattern, and then we'll do a little more elaborate design with it. Going to kind of build each week. So stay tuned for next week.